So it's Mental Health Awareness Week, and we are joined by Johnny and Danny from Say It Lad, two of my good friends as well. So yeah, Johnny and Danny, tell us a little bit about Say It Lad for those guys who don't know what it is.
Yeah, so Say It Lad is the UK's first anonymous voice note platform. It's designed to break down barriers and to be an entry point into therapy.
Yeah.
So we've found that a lot of guys that we've been speaking to just don't talk. They don't know where to talk. They don't know how to talk. And this is that initial stage of it. So this came around from my own personal experience. I had some kind of like weird breakdown. I still don't know what it was, but I went to bed completely fine, and I woke up the next morning and I was suicidal. And it's like, it sounds quite harsh, and it was, because, do you know what I mean? Like, one minute you're walking around and everything is fine. Like, I had the kids, I had the house, I had everything, and then the next morning you've just got everything is completely changed, just like how the sun's gone in there. It's like it's like the lights go out. Do you know what I mean? And I had this big, thick. I always describe it as a heavy cloak of depression on me, and no matter where I went or what I did, I couldn't shake it. I couldn't listen to anything. All noises were like too intense, so I just had to go out. I just had to get out. And to cut a long story short, that's when I found that I felt my most alone. I had friends, but I didn't have anyone that I could just go, right. So I wanted to hear that someone else had been through it, and I wanted to know that what I was feeling would eventually come to a positive end rather than an end that I didn't want to think about. So what we created was Say It Lad, and it is guys just being there for other guys, talking about their experiences, letting each other know that if you are going through something, there is light at the end of the tunnel, because that voice got over it, or that voice got over it, and they got over it by doing this. Like, and that's what it is. It's a virtual arm around each other. Yeah. So if you're struggling, it's just nice to know that, not in a nasty way, but that someone else has been through it and you're not alone. Because at that point, I've never felt so alone ever before, and this helps. And it started conversations, and it started things like this, like awareness around what we're doing, and yeah, it's just starting that conversation, and it's just really helping. And then we brought, after months of bugging Danny to get involved, because Danny's had his own mental health issues, and we've always like talked. We've always like been mates.
We worked together for a while.
We've worked together, and we've always had that where we can speak to each other about stuff, and if you haven't got it, you struggle. So Danny will just tell you a little bit.
So Johnny approached me just after, wasn't it? I think we've now nearly been going a year. Approached me probably in about the June, was it?
Yeah.
Something like that. Johnny approached me in the June. Can you leave a voice note? This is what I'm doing. Had to chase me. So I've been through my own stuff, and I was thinking, what do I talk about? Do I want to air it? Things like that. But the more and more I thought about it, and the more I looked into what Johnny was doing, the more I thought, what an idea. So I left the voice note. Actually felt a lot better after leaving the voice note, like it was a weight off my shoulders. I've been through therapy, I've been through wellbeing services, all that kind of thing. And what I found with that was you'd be filling forms in, there'd be wait times. You look at websites that it's like a T&C page. It's almost like a tick box exercise that we're just going to have something there. So I got on board with Johnny, and ever since then we've been knocking on doors, lots of phone calls, reaching out to people to try and get this moving. And where we're at now, not even a year later, is unbelievable. I think it's surpassed everything we sort of thought.
I mean,
you've had some really good advocates so far, haven't you? What kind of people got involved in it?
But we've had, like, do you know what I mean? Like, we've always said that we want people involved that want to be involved, not that we've got to go chasing. Because if someone's been through it and they believe what you're doing, it comes across so much more genuine, like yourself. Yeah. Like, we didn't know each other before this happened, but since the year that we've known each other, we now, do you know what I mean? We know each other's journey, we know it, but face value, I would have seen you on Instagram and I'd been like, oh, he's like smashing it, everything's great, do you know what I mean? But having known what you've been through yourself helps us all have this conversation. But yeah, we've had some great people that have come on board, from like Simon Thomas at Sky Sports. We've had Fenners, who used to sit on similar things like this, really, for Soccer AM. David Bentley's been phenomenal. We've had Joe Wicks has done stuff with us. We've had Rudimental. But these these guys, you look at them face value and you think, oh, they're living their best life.
Yeah.
But then they then send you messages about what they've been through, and it's like mental health doesn't care who you are or where you're from. It literally can affect anyone. And I think going back to the voice notes and the power of that and the fact that it is anonymous, I think that's where we've really struck a chord with a lot of people, because through those voice notes what we've got is so much anonymous data that we've been able to analyse, and we can see things like, on average it takes a guy 10 years to start speaking.
Yeah.
And that he starts speaking when that crash comes around. So what we've then found from there is what we're trying to do is switch it, so we're at the start of that journey. So all these little tiny things which people think, well, I don't need therapy because I've split up with my missus, or I don't need therapy because I've lost a job, I'll find another one. But all those things compound on top of each other, and then in 10 years time, that's when that crash happens. And we've talked about like the mental, what is it, the midlife crisis thing.
Yeah.
And I'll let you explain a little bit about what we've done.
Where we wanted to be when we were sort of mapping all this out is we didn't want to be like other people, did we? We really wanted to be different. So we didn't want to go out there with loads of data, loads of stats, lovely quotes, things like that. We wanted to be real. We wanted to just be different. And I think the data that Johnny has got through the voice notes is absolute gold, isn't it? Like,
oh, it is, yeah, absolutely.
Trigger words, patterns in voice notes, all things like that. It is just invaluable. We've gone a different way about it. I think we almost stumbled on that the use of data.
I think the biggest one that we've found is that out of all the voice notes, so we've analysed over 200 voice notes, and what we've got from that is that 86% of guys wouldn't approach Samaritans.
Yeah.
Now that's not because they don't believe in Samaritans, because they do great stuff. They just see Samaritans as a crisis centre.
Yeah.
When I went through what I went through, I never thought about Samaritans. Do you know what I mean? Because you're in that headspace. So if you've got 86% of our guys won't go to Samaritans, but then you look at every single almost like mental health campaign, including us at the start, everyone signposts people back towards Samaritans.
Yeah.
So then you've got this vicious circle where these guys are going, right, I've had a bit of a crash. Oh, I'm not going to go to Samaritans, so I'll hold it in again. And then you get that vicious circle, because people that go looking for help are signposted towards something that they're not going to use.
Yeah.
So then they don't go looking for help. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's where we're trying to change it. Like, there are so many worthwhile causes out there, and charities out there, and specialists in certain things, and self-help groups, and walk and talk and things like that. So I think we need to raise, as well as mental health awareness, we need to raise awareness of those other charities that are doing great things. We sort of teamed up with James's Place, and that's a charity, again, it's built on experiences of a lad taking his own life, but they have these non-clinical setups, like these almost like houses, where you go to and you can have free help. You just have to go to one of their centres. They've got them in Liverpool, they're opening up Birmingham as well. And that's great, because but without that awareness, I wouldn't have known about that, because I had to go looking for it. So I think that's what we need to find more of these places where people can get good help that's more direct to them.
Yeah. Why do you think a lot of men are struggling quietly and not speaking up?
Danny?
I would say, I think life in general is hard.
Yeah.
I think we're now going through unprecedented times in the country. We've just been through COVID. I think there's still a hangover from things like COVID.
Yeah.
People weren't going outside. People became withdrawn. You got the supermarket now, and everything is more expensive. Everything you see on the news is bad, and I think a lot of men keep it in, really, because of the roles. I think we're led to believe that a man should play as well.
Yeah.
We should be the breadwinners. We should have all the weight of the world on our shoulders, and we want to make it so that men can talk. Men don't feel as though they have to be carrying the weight on their shoulders all the time.
Yeah.
And I think having events like this, you see it a lot in fitness, trying to get people out doing stuff is actually hard.
Yeah.
It's not easy to try and get people out. We often talk that just coming out of the house some days, you say we'll do something, you don't want to do it. You're like, oh God. You sort of talk yourself out of doing stuff, don't you?
Yeah.
And I think just with men, there's this massive, massive stigma. I mean, you've just now seen with the manosphere thing. You know, that is what the younger generation are looking up to. So I'm really worried about what might be in the future.
Yeah.
But we're fighting against things like that. Men, it is just the journey that we've all been on, probably brought up from our parents. Like, I suffer with anxiety.
Yeah.
My dad's always like, well, what are you anxious for? You've got no need to be anxious. You know, and that's my dad. That's somebody I want to go to and open up to. And it's hard because we're just men, and that's what we do.
Yeah.
I'll just jump in there. Again, the data that we've looked at, the reason why we're seeing that men don't speak up is because, like you said, they don't want to be a burden.
Yeah.
And they don't think that necessarily it's a big enough issue for them to speak up. So what we as men then do is we build up this persona that we can hide everything. And you get so good at hiding everything and not speaking that when you do want to speak, it becomes really hard to actually do it because you've done so much like pushing it down, like pushing it to the side and I'll deal with it later and that kind of thing. So I think that is a big thing. And I think also when you speak to a mate, like you might not necessarily, or your partner, your wife, etc., you might not give them the full story because again, you don't want to think, with my wife, I probably gave her 90% of the story and I kept the other 10% back about the suicide because I didn't want to scare her.
Yeah.
So then she's not getting the full story. Or if I speak to Danny, I know that Danny's had his own mental health things. Is it fair for me to push my insecurities and my anxieties onto him? So I think you just become so good at hiding stuff that we're men. We just
think
get on
that
with
burden.
You just get
I've
on
used
with
that
it.
with you, haven't I?
Yeah, absolutely.
When I've gone quiet, you know what I'm like.
Yeah.
1 minute I'll be everywhere like a jack in the box, and then the
I know you never. Sometimes we don't reply, but normally you reply straight away. But sometimes you don't
He
reply.
replies to me straight away all the time.
But that's just it's weird.
Yeah.
It's weird because sometimes I'll reply. I'll be the one that sent the message. But like, I went quiet for a week, didn't I? And you reached out to me. It was like, you all right? And I was like, not really. I'm struggling a bit. Obviously losing my mum and stuff like that. But I said to him, I don't want to be a burden. And I'm telling people day in, day out, don't worry, you're not a burden. So I need to practice what I preach. I think we all need to practice what we preach. We all keep that 10%.
I mean, I've going back to the voice notes. I've just taken the dog for a walk and left myself a voice note. Because I say to people, if it's their first time and they're a little bit nervous about doing it, I say you don't have to do it. You can record it and then delete it. But the fact that if I went for a dog walk and I didn't do that, I would just be thinking, it'd be going round and round and round in my head. But as soon as I vocalise it and I get it out onto a voice note, it makes it more normal. Do you know what I mean? And then it's out, and then I just delete it, and then it's done. But it's almost like having a workout. I don't go to the gym. I should go to the gym. I've just started running. But it's all about, for me, it's all about mental fitness. I'm hearing a lot more about mental fitness rather than mental health, because you go to a gym and you turn up and you do your reps and you're very like regimented about what you do and how you look and what you eat, but then we don't do anything for our brains. And I think this is where we tie in so well, because the benefits of like looking after yourself and getting into the gym and working out and what you do here is phenomenal. And I know when I've been here, I've gone home and I've gone, I do feel a lot better for doing it. But I think that the time that what you do here, there's so much more than just the physical aspect. I know you get a lot of guys that are involved in Say It Loud come here for the mental side of it as well, don't you?
My whole side of it has always been exercise, how it makes you feel, not how you look. Because how you look is, for me, is a byproduct of what you do in the gym. Like that'll come anyway. So for me, exercise has always been how I feel. Do I feel good? Yeah, fucking brilliant. I feel great. I'm not worried about if I've got a six pack or not. Because if you focus on that too much, you can't. That has to be right before anything else comes. Because you can have an amazing body, but feel suicidal. Then what's the point?
Absolutely.
Like if you can sort your head out first and train to feel good. Like those endorphins come from training. You're going to feel good. You keep doing it regularly, you're just going to feel good.
No one's ever regretted a workout.
No, exactly. Like, exactly.
You might force yourself to come to them and stuff. I have to do that. But you know, you force yourself once you're there. You're mingling with people.
I mean, that's life,
you feel
isn't
good.
it? Like I think you don't go through life loving every moment. There's a lot of things that you have to do. We said when we went out for the drink at the weekend, I could have quite easily turned around and said no. But then you go and you're like, no, so you do have to push yourself to do things, don't you?
Yeah, we sat there like two grumpy old men in this, didn't we? Just talking to each other.
We are two grumpy old men.
I think it's just like, it's getting out, it's getting with other people. Like I do a run every Saturday with the running hunks. And that's been one of the best we've ever done. Like,
Really?
I'm 44, I don't have like a group of mates like I used to have when I was younger, and I had didn't have the kids, and I don't have anyone to talk to. So it's like I go on these runs, and it's like someone's asked, oh, how's it going? How's your week been? And if you're not feeling great, you tell them, and they'll listen to you, and they might have advice for you. Like a lot of and there's now younger guys coming through, like 18-year-olds coming along, and they're asking for advice, and it's like, well, I went through this, and I'm struggling at the moment. It's like, well, I did this, and this, and
I think that's
to
a
have
really
that
good,
as an 18-year-old.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. What you just said about not having that friendship circle like you used to. It used to be like, oh Christ, who do I go out with? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
But then you get
options,
older, and your mates start moving away. They have kids. They don't come out as much, and all of a sudden, you've got you can count your friends on one hand.
Yeah.
So I think with these clubs and with, again, coming back to what you've got here, this is not just people that work out. This is like people need it, don't they? They need to interact with people, and it's great.
I think again, you say about your friendship circles getting smaller, not want to be a burden on someone. Just with what we're doing, we've got a section on the website called The Wall, where you can listen or send a voice note in, and what we find is a lot of people will come to it and listen.
Yeah.
They'll listen because they can see that the voice note is about something like grief, financial issues, relationship breakups. They'll listen to that. They'll get ideas from that. So it's almost like the vibe that we've got is you're almost in a pub with someone having a conversation across the table, but you're listening, and then once you're in a comfortable place to do it, you can then go and leave one yourself.
Yeah, I mean we're now at a stage where we've got people leaving daily voice messages. I mean we don't say we'll reply to them. Because that's not the point. The point is you're almost like downloading your thoughts, you're just getting them out there. And we've not had one bad report about it. Like everyone said, oh, once I've done it, you almost feel like amazing. Do you know what I mean? Because you've got it out, and I spoke to a guy the other day who he went through a traumatic experience where he had a head-on collision with someone and killed the driver, and obviously he's alive, so he's got this kind of like this trauma of dealing with that, and he said he's kept it in for 10 years, but then he left us a voice note. And for us that was amazing, because he's obviously gone through something horrendous, never had the courage to pluck up to actually speak to someone until now. And now he's leaving daily voice notes because it's part of his day that he just goes, right, I just need to get everything out and do that. And that's where we do it. And we don't put all these on the website because they don't need to be. Like we pick the ones that are happy to go on and do that. But yeah, just him doing that daily one was just
I think
so
that's
big,
a really
so
good
big
point.
for us.
Really good point. We create a routine with exercise, don't we?
Yeah.
We know how many reps we've got to do. We know what days we've got to go to the gym. You know, everything is structured like that. You want to see results. You're not going to see results in one session.
Yeah.
But with mental health, we don't have that routine.
Yeah.
You know, you might do one or two things to help it, but do you prolong that? Do you create a routine? You've created a routine with your running stuff.
Yeah.
You've created that. The guy we're talking about there has created a routine daily, almost using this like a journal.
Yeah.
If we could create a routine and we can embed that into people, we're going to get somewhere.
Yeah.
That's where that whole intervention comes.
Yeah.
Rather than go, right, okay, crack on, wait for the crisis. Then there's Samaritans, there's Mind, there's all these other great charities.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't be. I mean, you start thinking about all these people, all these guys that are dying by suicide, and they're all in this certain age bracket. That can't be a coincidence.
No.
Do you know what I mean? Like, there can't be a coincidence that just men that's the biggest killer of men, under 50, suicide. It shouldn't be like that. So if we can get into people and we can go, right, conversations like this, do you know what I mean? Just start a chat with someone, even no matter how small it is, start that chat, it dissolves, everything dissolves away. Rather than
you'll open up as well.
Exactly.
You'll open up.
You can only store so much grief and pain before it hits, and unfortunately that's what it will do later on in life.
And with a lot of people we've found that we're talking to are doing that, but they express themselves with alcohol, with drugs, and we want to pull them away from that. We want to get them talking. You know, the amount of people we've now had come up to us in supermarkets, in the street, things like that. Thanks for what you're doing. It's really helped me. I've left a voice now. We don't know who they are. Everything's anonymous, isn't it?
Absolutely.
So sometimes when you put a face to it and you think, oh, actually we've helped him, that makes it all worthwhile.
Yeah. What's the kind of next steps moving forward? Because I know last week you went to Southampton Football Club. What happened there?
Amazing time.
Yeah. So from the start, we've always had a vision that we wanted to be in football grounds because we're football fans, and we know that what goes on in the stand, it's a release for people. 90 minutes, like they could be anywhere, they're supporting the team, they're loving life. What happens after that is they then go home to an empty house perhaps, to an environment which isn't nice, and then they have to deal with stuff. So we always wanted to be in football stadiums, on the backs of the seats or on the safer standing rails, because that's where guys can scan something. And again, removing all barriers. We don't want people to have to go, right, well, I've scanned it, now I've got to fill out my details, create a password, do all this kind of stuff. It's just scan and either send a voice note or listen to a voice note. Through hard work and graft and determination, we managed to get in with Southampton Football Club and the Southampton Foundation.
Nice.
And they've been phenomenal. They almost agreed before they'd even asked any questions, because they have so got their fans at heart. They were like, yeah, we want to do this. It was actually their idea to put it on the safer standing rails, because they said it will be a lot more visual.
It was like canvas, wasn't it?
We just thought it will be on the backs of the seats. And when we got there, we travelled down there. They were great. They gave us a tour of the stadium. They were like, look, that's you, like Danny said, that's your canvas. Put them where you want, wherever's going to work best for you. Nice. And they gave us free rein. They're now doing press releases. They're doing social media releases. But that is not for any benefit to them at all, or us, because there's no monetary value in either of it. It's just about looking after the fans, because they know how important it is to look after these guys.
For them, it's not a tick box exercise.
It's not
They're
at all.
doing it. They're doing it because they want to do it. Do what you want, lads. Go, put it here, put it there. Just don't walk on the pitch. That was the only narrative, wasn't it? And he was trying to hold me back. I wanted to get on the seat.
Do you feel like there's a lot of people, brands especially, just doing stuff for the tick in the box to say like, oh yeah, we're supporting help, there's actually about it.
And this is our biggest frustration, isn't it? Like we'll talk to so many people.
Mention no names.
I'm not mentioning any names. But we'll have a lot of meetings. Yeah, I love the idea. That's fantastic. Yeah, we'll get back to it. They love it. But actually do something with it. It's going to look untidy if you do that, and all this. Like so many places are just ticking boxes. A little bit on the website. We do the odd staff day. We'll do this, and
it's frustrating. It's so frustrating. Like we get it. Like, do you know what I mean? Like we're not one of the massive charities. Like we are. We want people to take a punt on what we're doing, because we believe it. We know it works, and we've got the data to back it up as well. But when you see some organisations like singing and dancing that they do everything, then when you actually approach them, they don't, because it doesn't fit their brand, or it doesn't fit with who they work with, or they don't like what you say.
You look at their core customers and you realise they're lads like us.
Exactly. So all as they're doing is they're stopping us looking after the people that they say they look after, but they don't necessarily do it. And I think through being on various social platforms, it's very much I have to say this, I have to tick this, I have to cover that, because they have to include everyone. And you think, we had a conversation with a company yesterday and they said, well, do you offer this to women as well? And we said, well, we don't. Like, because that's not our area. Like we target lads because we are lads, we know what lads go through. We don't want to just blanket everyone. We know what lads go through, and that's what we want to help. So when you are approaching these companies and they are saying no, it's hard not to take it personally, because you think, like, don't worry about if it looks messy. Like, if a sticker on a seat looks messy, who cares? If a guy scans it and he's in a position that he's suicidal, what's best? A messy seat or saving that guy's life? And that's where, like, that's where perhaps because we're new to the industry, that's that I don't understand. I don't get that.
That's the most frustration bit. I mean, I went to a game last weekend, didn't I? And I saw someone that I know. How are you, mate? You all right? Yeah, I'm all right. Asked him twice. Got home. Got a message. I'm not all right, mate. I'm dealing with this. This is what's happening. But we've got to ask. We've got to do these things. But ultimately, we need a hand from the clubs. Don't we? We need a hand from the clubs.
That one little prompt could do so much. That one little sticker someone sees that on the day, like, we're going through some really bad shit. See that, take a picture of it, come back to it.
The voice notes that we've had saying what I mean, you should just look at one post on our Instagram. Like, everyone's saying, we haven't had one negative post about anything. Everyone's saying what an amazing idea it is.
Cracking comment last night, didn't we?
Yeah, what an amazing incentive, like what an amazing initiative rather that you're doing. And that, like, if everyone could see that and respond to messages that we send them, then we could do so much good so quickly, because we don't have red tape to go through. Like, we could just go, right, stick it there, done. Guy scans it, great. If he doesn't do anything, he doesn't do anything. He might not need to scan it now, or he might need to tell someone about it. That's all it is, and it's so frustrating when there is so much red tape involved. When you just
it
think,
doesn't need to be either.
Like, if I wanted to help
red tape involved in that.
if I wanted to help you, I want to just be able to go scan a sticker, not wait for 6 months until it's gone through a board of people to decide whether it's the right thing to do.
And it's decided by somebody that isn't affected by mental health at all, and isn't in our demographic, things like that. You know, it's just so frustrating, isn't it? But what we're now looking at just quickly is as well, something that really hits me hard is the off season. So for me, going to football on a Saturday afternoon is my release. I go with my dad, you know, go with yourself, you know, you meet your mates, and I'm lucky that I go home and I have got family and my daughter and things like that, but there's so many people that only have that football as a release. So when the post-season comes, they've got no release, their social circle's gone, they've got no outlet, they're sitting indoors, what are they going to do? So we're now going to try and launch a campaign in and around this time of season, trying to get men to keep talking and managing them emotions.
Nice. Yeah, I think that's really great what you're doing, and I'll always support it. You know I will. And
absolutely.
We've done stuff in the past, and we're going to keep doing stuff.
You've been great from the start. Do you know what I mean? That very first conversation that we have, any idea that we have, you're pushing stuff our way.
You're sending us ideas.
Absolutely.
Do you know
and
what
it's
I mean?
great. But that's what we want. Advocates that people will actually take an interest. I mean, for example, this we didn't suggest this. You suggested it. But that's great because it's like it helps everyone. Do you know what I mean? And it's we can't be more thankful.
Yeah, and I think what you're doing here, I think with the Run Club now coming in, everything like that, to have this as a hub is going to be huge.
Nice. Cheers, boys.
Thanks, mate.
Welcome.
Nice one.